Interesting moment here for the markets and for tech in general, right? So you had Facebook and Microsoft did a lot to power the NASDAQ 100 to these all-time highs, been a consistent outperformer. But Facebook's still 15% or so below its all-time highs. Where does that bring you down in terms of what these results mean today and how the stock is positioned?
So for both Facebook and Microsoft, I'm not really expecting any surprises. I'm more inclined to buy Microsoft on a dip than Facebook because long-term, I'm still worried about, with the added expenditures to solve these privacy issues, what is the model going to be for Facebook? This year, analysts are expecting about flat earnings per share over the prior year. And so that's not really a mark of a growth company, even though the top line continues to grow. And so I think not just Facebook, but all the social media companies need to have a reckoning. And is it at some point will we have in the U.S. European-style regulations to protect folks' privacy? We'll see, but I want to see some or hear some conversation about that on the conference call. Microsoft, I just need to see that they're chugging along in the cloud with Microsoft Azure and continue at least to take some market share for Amazon Web Services. But as far as the number goes, top and bottom line, I'm not expecting any troubles when they report their earnings.
Paul, how much of a dip in Microsoft would it take at this point? I mean, it has been just scaling new heights. It's almost $1 trillion in market value. What's built in right now?
Yeah, that's a very good question. There have been a lot of expectations built in. I just feel that the model is more solid and they have more opportunities for growth. You know, the metamorphosis that the company's gone through since Satya Nadella came in 2014 is really astounding. Taking a sleepy old, go to Best Buy, buy a shrink wrap box of operating system and take it home and install it into your computer to really the number 2 in the cloud is really a stunning achievement. And I actually think they have some other growth initiatives which will manifest themselves over time.
So, Paul, let's talk a little bit. It's Joe. Let's talk a little bit about sentiment surrounding Microsoft, surrounding Facebook. I think I'm evidence of the positive sentiment surrounding Microsoft. Been long the stock for quite some time. It's been about the Azure growth, which potentially could begin to decelerate from the really strong numbers that we've witnessed. But Facebook, the sentiment is very suspicious. You mentioned that there's been a guide down in terms of revenue deceleration for the year. Could there be a potential upside surprise, in particular when you look at Instagram and maybe advertisers embracing stories?
Yeah, that's a key issue going forward. The monetization of Instagram or e-commerce on Instagram, either as you take Facebook, which has essentially been a way for the public to share, and we start to morph that business model into private groups of people sharing with encrypted messages, then you have to move to another big driver. And the monetization of Instagram is the one. And I'd like to hear more about it when they talk about the strategy in the conference call.
And Paul, just to get your take on Tesla, obviously a constant battleground. Where does it, do you think it all shakes out in this collision of kind of long-term aspirations and current production?
I think this might be the year that Tesla implodes. The way I look at it is we had a nice event the other day, but it was really a shiny object to distract from the poor results that we'll probably see tomorrow. And as far as the announcement yesterday, man, there seems to be a lot of assumptions in that strategy to have 1 million robo-taxis provided by Tesla in the United States in only 12 months from now. I just think that that's a preposterous claim. And so I think it's a little bit of a distraction because in the meantime, the company had promised that they would get back to cash flow neutral and then cash flow building, and now it looks like they're back to losses. So I think that at some point, the gig may be up for Tesla. I'm very worried about it.